Greetings, I am Lyric Joseph-Armstrong, and I am African American. My cultural identity far exceeds slavery. Nevertheless, slavery is a major impact on that identity. Specifically, for the lack of records or the destruction of records, it is hard for myself as an African American to identify which tribe or region of Africa from which my ancestors are from. Consequently, I have the pleasure of celebrating the full continent and all tribes and their various cultures. As rich as it is, I can incorporate it to my leisure and modify it for my enjoyment. Now, culturally, we do various expressions utilizing our clothing, such as this, because of its African print, as well as in response to the Black Panther, many have purchased the crown from the Queen of Rwanda, and I have been one. However, this is in fact an actual hat from the Zulu tribe of Africa that I purchased online. That crown of Black Panther was mimicked after this hat. So I was glad to buy the hat in representation of my pride and my cultural identity. But those items for which maybe this dress or other garments that I have in African print, as well as that hat, don't always fit my mood of the day. However, in celebration of my culture, what is prominent even as an American woman, and I have found as ancient African woman, is my hair. Now at this current juncture, I have my hair in braids. They are in cornrows, which you can see here, and a couple of box braids in the beginning. So these braids are expression of my culture, but they're also usually done for my creativity or my enjoyment, and most importantly, my convenience, so that I don't have to get up and comb and brush my hair every single day. I can have it braided and just get up and go after taking it down from the night's wear. Consequently, I went and researched how braids came into effect in the African culture. And the earliest research I could find from Elisa Pace was that in 3500 BC, Africa is being credited with the cornrows, which again is mostly this section here. Now, during those times, the cornrow was a little different because this has a modernization much that you would find in an American woman's hair. Less big and poofy, less added hair, and more close to the scalp. However, in 3500 BC, they utilized this style, where it was extremely poofy and maybe some added hair and maybe not. And in 3100 BC, the Egyptians wore this hairstyle, where they would have the bob with braids going on top. Okay, and so those are the first earlier notations of braided hair, both coming from Africa. However, something that I found quite interesting was that the African braid was also used in Europe, and it was used to exhibit the crown. This is a crown braid, and it was as early as 1066 to 1485. This is what was noted as their expression. The Native American culture used pixie tails as their braided culture, and that was with the 5th century. Now, the 1st century Greece used this braid as their halo. Okay. Now, interesting enough, braids have always had various meanings, whether it be a tribal connection or a social status, as well as religious connection. Specifically, as I stated, for Greece, they used this as their halo. And there were ancient Africans that used dreadlocks or different expressions of hair and believed that it helped their divine communication with God. So those individuals who wear dreadlocks now typically have the connection of it being a religious expression. And within the Bible, it is noted that the hair of a woman is in fact her crown. So hair has had a very strong meaning throughout the centuries. Another wonderful hairstyle that I love that is originating from Africa, West Africa to be exact, from the Fulani tribe, is this crown. As you can tell, it does in fact mimic the hat from the Zulu tribe that is in fact after the crown of the Zulu tribe. And here of the Fulani tribe, they use their hair in braided formation, as well as put true silver from their tribe to represent their heritage and their family lineage. So another wonderful design using beads, because that one was using silver. We have another one that adorns the hair with beads. This is West Africa. They use some cornrows, some Afro element, as well as a big braid on the top to attach the various beads to. All of this is an expression of culture, is an expression of creativity. So consequently, this is one of the most identifiable pieces of my culture that I can use throughout the full year. I can braid my hair in various ways, cornrows, individuals, add beads, have poofy hair into an afro. And one of the reasons why I can do that is because of the Crowns Act. Of the 2019 Crowns Act that Holly Mitchell and several other representatives put forth, it allows African Americans not to be discriminated against based on their hair. I'm highly supportive of this because employers for a very long time thought an afro or braids of some nature were unprofessional, when in fact, as we can take note, it is quite professional and has a very long history and annotation relative to my culture. So thank you for listening and taking in this information. I hope it's beneficial to you and has informed you a little bit more of why African American hair can be so important and creative.